Hi artists, it's Miss Coon, and today we're going to create a rabbit portrait inspired by the book Rabbityness by Joe Empson. My friends that are watching from Schoology, there's a video of someone reading this book that's linked into your folder for this week, and everyone in class, we just finished reading it. So we're using this art as our inspiration. Remember, Rabbit really loved to make art and make music. So we're going to do a crayon resist first with crayons and watercolor to represent art and music. Today you will need a piece of paper, a paint set, a brush and a water cup, and some crayons. So let's get started. You can have your paper turned horizontal or vertical. I'm going to turn mine vertical. We're going to do a crayon resist. So we need crayons and watercolor. Your crayons are made of wax. They resist or repel water from the watercolors. So just choose a color that you like. And first we're going to fill our page with music notes. One easy way to draw a music note is to draw a circle with a line and a little flag on top. I like to color mine in, and I press down to get a nice bold color, and then I'll change to a new color. And if you want to draw notes that are connected, you can do that by drawing two circles, line, line, and then a little banner that connects them. And then you can shade these in. I'm going to speed my video up, and I will fill my paper with music notes. Okay, you might have noticed while I was working that I kind of started around the outside edges and worked my way in while I was filling my paper, and that was just in case I ran out of time. My rabbit's going to go in the middle, and it may cover up a few notes. So if the outside edges looked empty, it looks a little bit less finished than if the center part is empty. But I want your goal to be to fill your paper with music notes. Our next step is we're going to take our watercolor brush and our watercolor sets, and we're going to paint little splats. And I know it's tempting to want to splatter, and in the art room, that's definitely what we would do, but in our classrooms, we're going to be respectful to our teachers and our neighbors and their workspace, and we're not going to splatter, but we're going to paint splats. So we're just going to paint little blobby shapes, and then we'll fill those in, and they can overlap your music notes. They could also overlap each other. So I could paint a little splat that goes over the first splat. This time I do want you to leave some white space. Let's see if I can get that any more vibrant. There we go. I'm going to speed this up. I do want you to leave some white space or some negative space in this picture, and it looks like a lot like the non-objective art that we created earlier this year. So your goal is to have music notes that fill your space and little color splats that fill your space. The colors can overlap. I wouldn't overlap them too much without kind of experimenting to see what they make, because you don't want to make a yucky brown. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our paintbrush and we're going to dry it off just a little bit, because our next step is with liquid tempera, and this is already wet. That's why it's called liquid tempera, and we don't need a lot of water in this, so I'm not going to touch the water cup again. I'm just going to use the paint that's in this cup, and I need to use shapes to build the form of a rabbit. And so if I look back at the illustrations from Joe Empson's book, sometimes a rabbit is in profile or going sideways, and sometimes he's jumping or scratching his ears, taking a nap. See, he's standing up, looking forward. So our rabbit today is just going to be kind of the silhouette or the shape of a rabbit. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to use an oval shape for his, or a circle shape for his face, and an oval shape for his body. I'm just going to paint a circle shape first. Oof, and my paint wasn't very dry. I may need to make an adjustment for that. So I am learning as I'm going, and I just learned that I need to make a suggestion to you. When you're ready to paint your rabbits, if your watercolor paint is still really wet, you might want to just dab it a little to get some of the water off so that the black paint doesn't run into one of your colors. And this is just one of the disadvantages of having to do a project so far in one day. So I'm going to get my black for my body shape, and I'm going to do a oval shape, and I'm going to fill this in with black. So I have a circle and an oval. The nice thing about this is if you want to make little changes, you can just sort of adjust the shape of it. I'm going to have Rabbit's head turned a little to the side. So both of his ears are going to go on this side of my paper. And again, that was a little wet spot. I probably should have dried it better. Learning as I'm going. Okay, and then his feet. This would be a hip here. So I'm going to extend it out a little and put a foot on the side. And these arms are going to be kind of tucked up. And I don't think I would see all of his arms and legs. And then a little foot. So if you're in class with me, I'm going to give you a couple more examples live. And if you are at home and you're doing this on Schoology, you can use Google and look up some other images of rabbits just to get some different ideas for poses. I cannot wait to see what you create. We're going to hold on to these for next week and let them dry, and then we're going to add details to our rabbit. Thanks.